the main things that I'm working on this year is looking at the CSW, which is the Commission on the Status of Women, which happens every March. And my question, it's a question, but it's also an ask. And tonight has been so inspiring to listen to your stories and listen to your poems, and really kind of makes me feel like this is a real opportunity. And basically, just to put it in context, the CSW is Commission on the Status of Women, and this happens every year in March. And last year was the first year that basically in 56 years, no agreed conclusions were drawn. And this is a real worry in terms of women's rights and in terms of where we're at now. And the topic that will be presented in March this year is about violence against women and girls. And this is so, so important that we as women and as men work together to really kind of, create a movement around this to make sure that there are successful conclusions. And I suppose my question is, what is it that your organisations are doing in terms of trying to raise a profile about the Commission on the Status of Women, because it's unheard of really in this country, and two, whether you would be interested in working with me. I work for DFID, but I'm also separately like a women's campaigner and activist about trying to create some kind of coalition or some kind of international movement where we can actually raise the profiles and raise the voices of women from Africa, from India, from England, from all over the world to basically make sure that this is successful and that we have agreed conclusions and move forward.
Absolutely known within West Africa because of the poverty level. Recently, one of our ministers went on an interview and said that women are cheaper than chicken in Sierra Leone. And a group of us sent out a letter in UK trying to push it. The women organization within Sierra Leone never took it up because they didn't see it. They've accepted it. And I'm wondering, how did the Sudanese women, after the war and everything, how were they able to get their respect back?
This problem of, yes, there is poverty. And there are families who lost their fathers or the people who are looking after them, and they are in need. Fortunately, Sudan has very restricted sort of behavior towards these things coming from the fact of Islam and other social behavior. I think this is the only thing that lessens the tend to be prostitutes and this. But there are. And there are other, bad behaviors. And this is what we are trying to control. And in this context, she will stop me, I know. I put a project to train, to collect such girls and boys who have nowhere or who came to towns after the war because they were insecure or they lost their farms or cattle and this. Kids elder but not educated. Those two categories, they need attention immediately, otherwise they will be dying in the future. And for those, we are preparing like manual training for a job, and then we give them equipment to take for their work so that they can achieve their living from their own work. But this is the exit of war. We can't avoid such things. We may try to put a remedy, but it happens.
The Commission on the Status of Women, as I'm sure you know it, first of all, I would like to welcome because I'm speaking on behalf of the Voices of African Women, which I coordinate the team, to welcome you as a DFID representative and talking about collaborating with some of the African women here, because we are from the diaspora. And as you know, with the Commission on the Status of Women, actually to have an event at the UN, or even to participate, first of all, you need accreditation. And we here in the diaspora have been working within WILF and NAO, which is a national union of national organization of women organization here in the UK. In the past, to bring some African women from Africa to attend the event. In 2008, we have been able to organize events. We did not go ourselves, but we enabled the women from Congo, for example, to attend and to have an event and raise their voices there. It's not very easy because you need funding to attend the CSW. Some of the women who are coming from Africa, they need accreditation from their country, they need visa. There is a lot of logistics involved, and sometimes we feel they will go there and sometimes they will not even attend some of the high key level events with decision makers. We welcome everything that DFID could offer for us, not only some of the women who are here who want to attend, but mostly to bring the women from Africa, because they are the one really who needs to be there and to be heard. So I think some of us can keep in contact with you to make this happen.
I will try to answer the women customary land right. I just want to tell you that this month, still in October, in Botswana, there is a judge just overthrew a rule, a woman customary law, like women now are allowed in Botswana to inherit when their husband passes away, land and all that. So the big problem we have, mainly I talk about Africa, is because we have a customary law and then we have the constitution. So those two laws overlaps. But because a lot of women don't know their right, they don't know what the constitution says, basically the only way they have is the customary law. So obviously it said inside that they are not allowed to inherit when the husband passes away, the man, the family of the man come and take everything away. So I think it's a lot of work to do. We're not personally doing a lot of work on that sense, but it's already all in the constitution basically. It's all there. The only problem is how can we try to get those women to know that they have those rights. I was reading recently a woman who had well educated, went to university, came study here, went back with her husband, they got married and built up a really big business. But she did not remember when we were signing to put her name in there, it was just her husband's name. And when her husband, because she couldn't have her kids, he divorced her, and then she didn't give anything was for her, like he took everything away. And she's a well-educated woman, but the problem is people don't know their right. Women don't know their right, they don't know how to access it. So that's the big thing we have today. They have got a right to land in most countries, but because there is a overlap between the customary, which doesn't allow women to inherit, and the constitution. So it's a lot of work being done in that sense, but it's still quite far from what we would expect. Thank you.
Proud. This is the kind of young people whom I'm dreaming of to carry the flame and the flag for the future. When I sit with them in a meeting, and I see how they think and they vote, I feel, oh. So there will be a continuation, and this is what we need. We all need. Thank you.
I'm sorry, we couldn't take more occasion, but we're quite tight. We still have the reception. There are some food.
Because also my heart is in Sierra Leone. I love it there. Uganda, one of my students is set up in Uganda.